Probably get myself into trouble here. More of a lover than a boxer. I'm Greg King. I was born in Benstale, 18th to 11th, 1957. Went to school in South Buchan. From South Buchan, I went to Benstale High School for 5 years and 12 months at trade school. I've got two brothers, one older, one younger, and a sister that's younger than I. In our early days, we used to get mixed up in horses because Dad was always breaking horses in. So he was also involved in the pony club, which we used to ride our horses in and ride them back out to South Buchan in the afternoon. Most of the time we were up the bush with Dad. He was either chasing brumbies and they always roped them and brought them home, and then Dad break them in for kids' ponies and sell them off around the town. There was a lot of good little brumbies running around. Left school and started work as a panel beat apprenticeship in Benstale. Stayed at that for a few years and I didn't finish it. I left there and went to work in the bush. The money was a bit better. Learned how to fall timber. Then after a while I thought, no, this is no good for me. I took off to Queensland, worked my way up through New South Wales. I was 19 at the time and had an old Holden car and a couple of $1,000 and I thought I was wealthy. So that was a start of an adventure. I finally got to Queensland and worked on the Queensland Railways. Went back panel beating up there and done a few jobs, and I also met my future wife up there. She was a Queensland girl. I met her when she was 18. I thought that was just it. We got engaged in Queensland after a couple of years, and then I brought her back down here and she's been here ever since. She's put up with me and she put up with a lot of rubbish, so she's a good girl. I came back to Victoria and I went back into the bush again, falling timber. Worked at that for a while and then an opportunity came up to go and work at the quarry. I started work at the quarry in early 80s and in year 2000 Dad resigned and I took over as manager. But in the time that I was there, I went over and I worked with the company at Tasmania in Mole Creek and still got some good mates over there. And from there I went to Bougainville in Papua New Guinea. It's actually a place there. It was where the war was when the Japs and everything invaded. We set up a crushing plant and lime kilns and we were supplying Bougainville copper with burnt lime. I was there for 3 months and the rascals and that got a bit wild over there and they started to shoot everyone, so we had to stay out of it then. But it was a terrific experience. 14 years as manager, I started off Buchan Excavations. So I was running a quarry and also working for ourselves on the weekend. I said to Marie, something's going to break here and I know what it's going to be. It'll be me. We resigned from the quarry and took over Buchan Excavations. This is a photo of my family, my wife Marie, Bradley and Kylie, my daughter. Brad lives in Buchan, of course, and Kylie's in Benstale. Got 3 grandsons, 2 with Kylie, and Bradley's got 1 down there. Adopted grandson too. I'm not really a Buchanite, I'm from South Buchan, so.
Because that's a big difference.
Yeah, big difference, like 6 Ks. My favourite thing about Buchan is probably just growing up in a good community. And the kids grew up here and they loved it. Everyone was safe. You never had to worry about anything, you know. Your houses were unlocked. We all had guns. So in your car, you could do what you like. No one was ever going to worry about you. Probably get myself into trouble here. One of my biggest sports loves was boxing. Dad and the local policeman Bob Kelman and Kirby Cross, they started a boys club up in Buchan. They took on boxing, teaching all the kids how to fight. Very strict rules. We weren't allowed to fight at school or on the bus or anything. But we stuck at that for a few years. And that was probably the highlights of my sporting career. As I said, I wasn't that good at it, but we went all over the place. We went to Warrington, Boston, Lakes Entrance, all around the place fighting. Mum hated it. She couldn't stand us fighting, but she put up with it. She come with us all the time. And later in life, I still like doing a bit of boxing. And while I was in Queensland, we used to get into a fair few blues up there, but I love boxing. But I was more of a lover than a boxer. And we played junior football. Then Buchan Football Club folded. We used to get off the school bus and play for Bruthen. After football training, a bloke by the name of Tommy Cornwall used to run us back up to Buchan. But I'm sure old Tommy used to stay here and have a few beers. Just that was part of his trip to get us back. In town I was a CFA member and I still am. Been in there for over 40 years. I was captain for the last couple of years while COVID and that was on. Been a good thing, but it's not as good as it used to be. The It's all changed now. People don't want to volunteer anymore. Back in the old days, everyone helped each other out. But during the big fire we had in 2019, 2020, we were very busy and we weren't that happy about it because our hands were tied. The fire started in November and that was up at W3. And they kept going right through here until the whole place nearly burned out. We were very restricted to where we could go and what we could do. That didn't go down with a lot of locals because they'd gone against the CFA, which I don't blame them. As young fellas, we were always taught how to dance, and we used to come to dances here in Buchan. We were taught to get up and we had to dance with the girls, and Gelantipy was terrific because there was more girls than blokes up there, so if you held your mouth right, you'd get a cuddle out under the stars later on. It was pretty good.